Okay, let's check something out here. Now, this is home base here on the tool and cutter grinder. And this is the work head here. Rotates, swivels, all that. It's got an index plate on it right now. See how that works in that slick? Now, in its spindle is 5C, a 5C adapter. And I want to show you something, if you can see, look at this. You see how loose that is? It's really quite loose. But you pull it in and it tightens up. And let's see if I can shake it from the side here. See that? Now, that's not good on a lathe because you have more side forces and things. But on the cutter grinder, I can take advantage of that little bit of give to tweak things in, you know, tapping in. So that's that. So let's move over to the lathe and we'll talk about what's needed there. Okay, we're over here at the Monarch 10EE lathe, and this is a Collet chuck that I fabricated. It's really quite easy to do, and you don't really have to make it look that nice. Okay, so I've got this Collet CNC 5C Collet holder pressed into these two pieces I fashioned into an adjust true chuck, excuse me, and which is a copy of a CNC tool that is for CNC machines. But over there on the cutter grinder, now that insert had a lot of side play on the Collet, and this one's got it much less shake. And but there still is some, and I have some Collets that fit tighter and some that fit a little looser on this shank. Okay, now let's go over here. Now this is actually something I was where are those things? I think one fell down here. Here, I'll get it. Way down there. Okay, I was still fiddling with these things, and these are just made just terrible. And see, this one here's got stuff busted off in it, and I wanted to center drill the end for no particular reason anyway. But I had that, I was holding that as the easiest way to do that center drill. I go, man, that thing's really sticking out there. You know, this is a 5C, oh, this is the famous Bowstar 5C chucks you buy on eBay. And I think a whole bunch of reviews been done on them. And I'll tell you what the deal is with these. Some are good, some aren't. Let me screw this out. Now this is a solid shank. It'll take a little bit to spit that out. It starts coming out. Yeah, it's starting to come out now. This has hardly any shake at all. I have some Collets that won't fit in there because of this part, the straight portion is so tight. And this cheap chuck is more accurate than the Bison version that cost like $700 20 years ago. And I finagled this around where I got it for 60 bucks because it came with a back plate that they wanted about $120 for, that I used for my 4-jaw chuck, my little 8-inch 4-jaw chuck. And so I got this for 60 bucks more than the back plate. Then I mounted this to a salvage back plate that the blade handy gave me. So anyway, the shanks here fit tight in this one. And this is really a good chuck. And I use it, I've adapted it to the axles in here. And then I can put it onto that back plate for the Brown and Sharp dividing head. And that's kind of nice because it's got that, you know, good access. It's like easier to do small parts and stuff like that, because you can get the spindle closer. Well, anyway, and I'm kind of stuck with 5C Collets, and I don't think they're all that great. And but that's that's for that. Oh, I'll take this over here, take this back. Now, here's something, a tool I made on this Monarch lathe here. And it's my own Collet stuff. See that? And I'll tell you about see, the Collet goes in like that. Then the Collet work stop, right, goes in here. I made this one because I wanted real fine adjustment and just good quality and a good fit. And that particular shape down there, see? So we get this all in, this is the lock collar here, and this locks that. You stick this in here. Now, that stop will stop things super accurately only if the parts are the exact same diameter. Now, if they're smaller, the whole thing sucks in more. See, you start losing your, start gaining distance. If the part's a little bit bigger, then it's going to protrude out a little bit. Okay, that's just something to think about on these. Now, another thing that's kind of interesting on how and if these things work very well is, you know, how solid the spindle is on your machine. And I've used 5C Collets on my heavy tin south bends and stuff like that. And you can't extend stuff too much out of them, you know, just because of the bearing arrangement. This has 4 rows of ball bearings here. It's different than, you know, like smaller lathes with plain bearings or just 2 spherical type bearings. So it just depends on your spindle. And this is kind of crazy over here. I stuck that piece of brass in there. I had that part that I was just trying to center drill while I did that. But it's actually machining out here, and it was doing really reasonably well, and that's a full 12 inches from the spindle bearings. See? So the results depend. I don't recommend it, but the results will depend on how tight things are. These things are a little bit long-winded, and this one's real tight. I haven't taken apart. These things have tight screws. One guy had one apart. A couple of different versions. The one that this one guy had apart had 2 pinions. This one's got get out of here, 3 pinions. Okay, I think I'm up in here. Let's see. Not quite. And I'll tell you what, I think I'm almost there. Yeah, it's there. See how tight this is? There we go. The little bison chuck. These things were not very expensive at one time. Now, I took this chuck here, and I have an import around here somewhere too. It's up there, it's too hard to reach. But I front mounted it. See, this was just a regular chuck. I front mounted it and made it so it was adjust true. A lot of people do that. But I mostly use this on the cutter grinder, okay? But if you've got a cutter grinder, you can buy these shanks here from the usual suspects, these solid 5C with a disc or a chunk of steel at the end of it. And you can put this in the cutter grinder and slip your 5C lathe sleeves and grind the ODs that way. That's how I adapt everything. You know, that's how I adapted 5C to that work head. Was I used one of these in the cutter grinder. Get over here. So I took this sleeve here that this 5C Collet's in. This was a lathe adapter. 5C taper here. I chucked this piece up here, slipped that sleeve over, and ground the OD to that brown and sharp taper. That's how I adapted 5C to the brown and sharp taper. And then see the cylindrical, internal cylindrical grinding. I reground the taper. And it just, this runs absolutely true. It's just fantastic. If I got the best collets on there, and I got selected collets that run true. So it's a good setup. But that's how I adapt, you know, or one way. You know, this piece here was in a box of junk I bought at an auction. It's all beat up. And just reground the OD. Might have fit a Logan lathe or something, or, you know, reground the OD. Brown and sharp, knocked it in there, then set up internal grinder setup, and then reground the 5C taper. So one thing kind of feeds on another. Okay. But, you know, 5C collets are kind of terrible, and in my experience, they work best in hard-inch lathes, which are really great, you know. But it seems like just about everything else, you know, takes an adapter, you know, like one of these, you know, the regular lathes. But the hard-inch is built with this right in the spindle. And it's got it right into close to the spindle bearings, you know, not a foot away like that over there. It works, but you know, heavy bearings like that, I don't know. Maybe you can machine 2 feet away. I don't know. That might be stretching it just a little bit. But a lot of guys, you know, asking me about collet systems. And I've just been stuck with 5C, and there's all those other ones too. The one collet system that was pointed out to me early on, and I've seen it, it's not very good, but some people like it, maybe better than nothing, is the rubber flex ones that have all the range. Now, that is an economy solution to real solid collets. And I don't know. If that works for you, that's fine. I just was steered away from it. I've used it, you know, on the job and stuff when that all there was. On the Monarch, a lot of people have used 2C collets with that, I can't even pronounce it, that hand wheel closer. It's got the big wheel right up front. I've used that on gearhead lathes like this axle thing, but I've never used it on the Monarch 10EE, which people commonly do. So I don't know. I've made do with 5C collets on the Monarch, and I'll get back over there one more time, squeeze around here, hook my suspenders on the machine handle. This is my solution, and it's what the CNC industry solution, you know, it's like CNC came along and had to adapt to the 5C collets, probably invented 130 years ago. But this is what the CNC industry did to deal with 5C collets, make them more accurate on their machines, is to have that adjust true thing. And this is nothing different than the little deals they do for the small lathes. It just looks better. You know, a lot of people are putting the ER collets. But if you're dealing, which is easier in a lot of ways, but if you're dealing with these 5Cs, this is how I dealt with it, and it worked, you know. But like I say, it doesn't have to look that pretty. Okay, I will be back. See if I can make a light cut on this piece of steel without it chattering like crazy with this extended setup. Going forward. I might have to speed it up. Step. It's doing pretty good. That's a whole foot from the spindle bearing. You know, I didn't think it would do it. Yeah, I didn't think it'd do that without chattering. The finish isn't that bad either. Okay, that's an axle in action.